That's awesome. What's up, man? It's awesome. You care if I tape you, follow you?
It'd be pretty boring.
Fucking awesome.
She's got the looks that cute.
Oh, dude, let's Brother Bill.
How you doing, man? Right on. Thanks for coming in. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Released their greatest hits album, Thank You. That is the only new song on the album. They saved their best for last. I guess you could say that almost. It's a great tune. The Matthew Good Band as well with Load Me Up from Beautiful Midnight. It's 2:49, brother, taking you through the afternoon live from the edge of 228 Yonge Street. When we come back, it's all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
I love your hair. I love running my fingers through your hair.
Oh, well, Tons of Destruction is the one and only Nikki Sixx.
How you doing, man?
Dude, what's going on?
What's going on?
It's a pleasure to meet you. Tell us a little bit about the guys that are playing with you.
Well, a guy named Tracy Guns, who he actually started Guns N' Roses with Axl, and I guess Axl's not the easiest guy to get along with.
So we hear, yeah.
So we hear, right? So he split and went off and formed LA Guns, did his thing, and originally the Brides of Destruction, before it even had a name, the concept was, you know, for me to be able to get together with some other musician, Cherry, and at the time Duff had moved back from Seattle, and Slash and Duff were playing, and there's that familiarness that they have. And so he started kind of playing with him a lot. At the same time, I started playing with Tracy. That's when Velvet Revolver happened and Rise of Destruction kind of happened at the same time.
So you could almost come from the same mold. If there was a family tree, you could almost attach it to it, couldn't you? Really?
I mean, in a weird way, there's a lot of similarities between the bands.
Yeah, most definitely. I should ask you this as well. I mean, first of all, let's talk about when the band actually got together. Why did you decide you wanted to make new music with a new band all of a sudden?
Well, I mean, you know, being a musician is, you know, at our core, the most important thing is the music. And fortunately or unfortunately, as you bass player, being a songwriter, right? That was how this thing started, and there was really never a solid intention of this ever coming out. I actually funded it myself because I didn't want to have to deal with any obligation to have to tour or be on a record label.
Right.
And we went in, we recorded the songs, and then people started, and then all of a sudden, everyone's like, wow, that's like really amazing.
Yeah.
That was what it was with the Brides. We demoed some songs, and then in the end, you know, with today's technology, you don't really need to go and re-record a record.
No, I mean, with the quality of even the back of a bus nowadays, is,
Right.
You know, you can record like an album, no problem.
You really
right?
can, and that's not saying anything against the old way of recording. You know, why drag around a 700-pound tape machine? All about mic pre's and what's going on to your recording source. So if you want to record onto a hard drive,
Dirt, gotta get the
Sure.
dirt on the dirt.
The
If you
dirt on
don't
the
mind.
dirt,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you don't mind.
No
This
problem.
is Brides of Destruction on 102.1 The Edge. You guys think that's not bad, huh?
Great.
That actually isn't the first single. The first single is the first track from the album, Shut the F Up.
Shut the F Up.
Yeah, there's a story you were saying behind that.
Well, the concept for the band being that it was really a band that just wants to be a band. So we sit down and said, well, what song?
The book is fantastic. It's probably the best rock book you could read. I mean, the reason we were talking about it, the reason is because it's written so well, and you're almost literally put into your shoes from the Motley Crue days back in the 80s and early 90s as well. And the majority of the book, quite frankly, you're the main guy who tells the stories, I found, you know, and Neil Strauss is the guy who co-wrote it with the band.
That's right.
Did you guys actually all sit down in the same room and talk to Neil, or was it individually? Because I know there's been problems with Vince in the past.
Well, the concept was pretty simple, is that the best way to get to truth is to keep people away from each other. So everybody has a different interpretation of an event. For instance, the S Festival, we were very young, we played in front of 350,000 people. You know, Neil really wanted to know, what did Tommy remember about that? What did Vince remember about that, and me, and Mick, and record company executives over there. So he did the interviews all separately, and then when you put it together, you get the contradictions, which is really amazing. I found out things I did in that book that I didn't remember.
Oh, really?
Of course, other guys found out things that I didn't remember.
it's an over-the-top book. It really is. I mean, it literally, from talking about Ozzy with the ants, which we'll get into in a second, or with the fight between Tommy and Vince in an airport somewhere in Phoenix, I think it was, or something like
Vegas,
that.
I think,
yeah. Was there any pieces of that were just too over the top for the book? Is what I'm trying to ask you.
The only part that's not in the book is that we have a non-disclosure agreement with Elektra Records that we couldn't disclose how we took the masters from them in the... Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you could just briefly tell the story if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing with Ozzy is Ozzy gets a few drinks in him and he sort of transforms really into who Ozzy is. And we've been pulling an all-nighter traveling from city to city and we ran out of substance of choice. And Ozzy didn't want to quit snorting things, so he saw a line of ants with a popsicle stick and he just hoovered them right out there.
And this was probably what, early 80s we're talking about?
Probably 80, I think Shout at the Devil had just come out, so it was like 84.
Are you surprised he's still alive?
Yeah, I mean, I am, as much as I am, that I am too.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
You know, Ozzy's one of the sweetest guys and actually most creative people that I know. And, you know, he's...
Did you do a movie or what?
Oh yeah, definitely. We signed a deal with Paramount Pictures and MTV Films. That's going to probably be 2005.
Yeah, are you going to be in it, or have you got someone who you picked to play you or anything
Well,
like that?
the way the process works, I'm just learning this too because, you know, this is new to me, is the first thing you do is you find your quote-unquote partners, so Paramount MTV Films, and then you decide upon a writer, and we chose Rich Wilkes, who wrote Triple X.
Oh, yeah.
And Rich then writes the screenplay, and it's approved by the executive producers, which is Motley Crue. And then we all decide with Paramount and MTV Films who's the right producer and director, which we've already, you know, been in contact with people.
And all different kinds of answers to this, but that's why I'm glad you're here so I can ask you straight out. I mean, is there going to be a Motley Crue reunion or not? Because, I mean, Vince Neil says no, Tommy Lee says yes. I don't know what you say.
You know, it's based on it's based on if people want to do it for the right reasons. I want to do it because I want to say goodbye, and I want to say it sort of like, you know, fist in the face. So I really want to do it right. Unfortunately, you know, you have a lot of personalities, and worse than the personalities is that some of the guys in the band have managers, and the problem with that is that managers basically, you know, feed like vultures on their artists. And so if you have an artist who's not in Motley Crue but they're managing you, and then you are going to be put back in Motley Crue, what is that manager looking for?
Well, probably it's 40%, I was going to say, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so that's when you start going.
All right, man. Thanks, Nikki Sixx.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, sorry. No problem. You know what? I heard you're coming in, so... Yeah. You need to turn roll on a couple, right?
I got a couple extra.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Got like when you were just kind of standing there.
Who's taking it?
No, I don't know. It's sanctuary.
Guys.
If you need anyone to open the bride shows when you come, my number's on the demo.
Well, there you go. I think we'll probably be opening tonight.
Oh, no. Come on.
Come on, guys.
I'll promote it. All right. Have a good trip, guys.